budget is easily the biggest issue. I think most people would agree with that. I think most people care about their pocketbooks, and they saw a tax increase last year. So I think a lot of people are wanting the next mayor to be the smartest and the best to address that issue. The big problem in that is that nobody has any real concrete solutions on that. They all talk around it, and I think it's for a fear of alienating a certain voting bloc. If you say, boy, we're wasting $2 million over here with the arts, but you're going to get a lot of people in the arts district and people who care about that stuff upset, and they're not going to vote for you. I see him as the presumed front runner, given all the things I know and hear. He's been a CEO of 3 different companies, most notably Pizza Hut, and But he also brings this amazing element of the public sector experience and what he brought to the homeless community with the bridge. Kunkel come out of the background. He retired as Dallas police chief after almost 6 years, and he's pretty much relying on that experience because he doesn't have any private sector experience, which is something that Rawlings likes to point out pretty regularly. But he did serve as deputy city manager in Arlington, so he knows how to read a budget. He knows how cities work. But one of his downfalls, which he's quick to admit to, is he lacks a lot of charisma. He can be difficult to sit through at some of these public forums, not because the substance of what he's saying is genuine, and it's in a lot of ways it sets him apart from the other candidates, but he talks such a monotone way that sometimes I think that might get lost on people. He sells himself as the best of both worlds. He's got the private sector experience. He's built a lot of different companies, from installing stereo tape decks back in the 4-track days, all the way to plastic molding. And so he's built a lot of companies. He has that experience. He served on some boards and commissions and was not elected to the city council. So he's kind of using that. I'm an insider. I know what's going on at City Hall, and he doesn't see that there's a lot of things that really are going wrong. It's just kind of keeping things headed in the right direction. So he's really selling himself as let's just keep going forward, which was a term that his close ally Tom Leppert used a lot. It was always move the city forward, go forward. This is going forward. He's been doing a lot of that, and he's also not shy about running as a Republican. He's attended a lot of Republican functions, voted in a lot of Republican primaries. So he's gonna try and use that to get a lot of those valuable votes in the north. This is his 3rd time, and I'm sure the old saying applies here. He hopes the 3rd time's a charm. But he actually had a pretty big drop-off from his first time when he ran against Laura Miller. He finished 3rd, had about 2,000 votes. Then in 2007, he finished last of 11 candidates. He's an immigrant from Nigeria. He's got a good success story about coming to America and becoming his own boss and running his own real estate consulting business. So he talks intelligently about the issues. One of his obstacles is his really thick accent, but he's a smart guy. But it's tough to see where his path is to making a runoff, just because he doesn't have much of a name ID, and he doesn't have a lot of money behind him. They're adamant that they're not going to raise taxes. They're also adamant that they're not going to make cuts into street repairs and neighborhoods. And the decision with mayor is trying to find somebody who can lead the council in the right direction, because they're only one of 15 votes. And somebody who can work well with the city manager who prepares the budget. And right now, again, nobody's really taken that baton and ran with it. Everybody cares about their pocketbooks, taxes, and neighborhoods, park and rec, street repairs. That's something that touches everybody. And the mayor is really going to shape how those two issues collide. If they're unwilling to raise taxes, and at the end of the year, like last year, they say, whoops, we don't have $40 million to keep libraries open, to keep rec centers open, swimming pools open, mow the grass, and fix the streets. So we're going to cut that out just so that we don't have a tax increase. There might be some people who are going to be on board with that, but for the people who are trying to find the gray area, they got to find that candidate that they feel like is going to find it too.